approaching severe weather. WHIO.
I'm looking for the dude by the name of Todd.
He's a local boy.
He's a clever boy.
He's got the microphone.
He's got all the firepower he needs, and he ain't afraid to use it.
We heard about your broadcast.
Woo! It's like Fruit Loops.
Okay, let's get this started.
It's the Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Call me now, 937-457-1290.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
Oh, Todd, you got off the couch today. So we're gonna give you just a little bit of praise. A little bit of praise just for you. Well, you actually got off your couch today. You know we gotta give you praise. Woo-hoo! Sing that name. Sing that name. Oh, Todd, we praise you.
It is the Evening Edge, Monday through Friday, 5 to 7. Live stream is up and rolling on YouTube and TikTok. Tonight on the show, just after 6 o'clock, a gentleman by the name of David McWhorter is going to be here. He's from a new Carlisle group called UFO 101.
I'm not saying it's space aliens, right? But it goes without saying it's space aliens.
And we're going to be talking about the big Fairborn UFO Conference. It's going to be happening the first weekend in June. And also, you know, we've done this from time to time. There are folks here in the Miami Valley that have had unusual experiences with the unknown. Lights in the sky. Missing time. Unusual feelings as though they're being watched by something aerial. So we want your stories. 937-457-1290. We're going to be doing that after 6 o'clock. Also, we've got an Ohio man to talk about. We got some food news. We got creeper news. But first, I want to bring in my buddy.
Yes,
Ron
sir.
Otto. Hey, I got a question for you.
What's
so I had something else prepared to kick off the show. I was going to talk about Dayton's graffiti problem. But something caught my attention before I cracked the mic here. And I saw this story on WHIO.com, and I'm hoping that maybe you can shed some light on this because, admittedly, I don't understand why this is a concern. I don't know if there was a call for this, if people were up in arms, but why a state representative is trying to pass a law that would make it, well, I guess illegal, right? If it's a law that football games would have to start after 3:30 p.m., like high or college football games, specifically Ohio State.
Right.
It says the proposed bill states no college football games played in Ohio should start before 3:30 p.m. or when, quote, one competing team is the football team of a state university. Well, that's just a couple. Or when both competing teams are ranked among the top 10 teams in the Associated Press poll. So I will admit ignorance. I don't understand why this is a concern. Why are they taking the time to explore this and debate this? I guess there will probably be some sort of debate. Is there some issue with college football? I mean, you follow it more than I do here in Ohio as to why we can't have kickoffs before 3:30.
Well, first of all, I would like to thank you for using the Evening Edge to shine a light on this incredibly difficult issue.
I look for controversy all the time, and I feel like this might be.
Oh, it's been passed over for years, and now you're finally shedding light on that. You know, this whole thing is so ridiculous. It goes back to seeing the schedule that Ohio State had.
Okay.
And Fox has the right to air the Ohio State-Texas game.
Okay.
And they're putting it at noon. Now, as a Buckeye fan, I'm looking at that thinking this game screams out prime time. I mean, come on. Noon on a Saturday. These two teams, they should be in prime time. It's an annoyance. It's irritating. I'm still going to watch it. It's going to be at noon, whatever. But one of our elected officials in Columbus felt the overwhelming need to actually put together a bill that is going to prevent Fox from doing this heinous thing.
So, but I don't understand what the problem is. I understand from a viewership standpoint, yes, maybe prime time would be better. But like you said, if you are a avid Buckeye fan or a avid, is that the Longhorns? The Texas Longhorns?
Well, yes, it is.
If you're a big Longhorns fan, you're going to watch the game anyway. It doesn't matter if it's at noon or at 7 p.m. Heck, they could play the game at 7 a.m. and I'm sure people would be up to watch it.
Sure. I'd complain about that too, but I would still get up and watch it. Yes.
But it's odd to me that this is something that one of our elected officials, and his first name is Tex, by the way.
That I find that really odd.
Yes.
There's something up with that, I believe.
But it doesn't, it says any state university. So, I mean, there are other state universities in Ohio, right? They're part of the state university system.
Bowling Green.
Okay.
So what makes this terrible is now Clark State can't do it either. So that's really.
Do they have a football team?
I'm not sure, but if they did, they couldn't do it. That's the point.
Well, is Central State part of the state system?
Yeah, it's a state school.
Yeah, I mean, that could be the same situation for them.
Yeah.
See, I was trying to figure out what it is. I was thinking, is it day drinking? You know, are they trying to cut down on day drinking? Is that the problem? That if it starts too early, if the game starts at noon, the college students, well, not just college students, let's be honest, but everybody who likes to drink a little bit on game day, they're going to start at 8 a.m. Is that the problem?
I think it's all about TV ratings. And, the primetime games will get a much bigger audience than a noon game. Although Fox really does well in their ratings
but what does that have to do with a state representative from Ohio? What do they care?
Because I don't know. Maybe he's cares about. I don't know. It's not like why you can't spread Ohio State's brand any further than it probably is already, but. You know what I mean? I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I'm not sure why he would. I can see it was a minor irritation, when you look at the schedule, but then to actually put together the effort to pen a bill and introduce it to the State House. That's interesting.
Here's the other caveat. The proposed bill includes an exception for games between two teams involved in a, quote, college football tradition, such as the Ohio State and Michigan game.
Yeah, this is where everybody reads it and then just shakes their head. You just shake your head, and this. I would be interested though to know if this even gets out of committee.
Probably not, but it's astonishing to me that an elected official I have a lot of free time to tackle such a challenging and controversial subject like this.
Yeah, let's worry about the roads later, but this here.
That's right.
We need to nail this one.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Well, I appreciate you shedding a little bit of light on this for me. Thank you. Thank you, Ron.
Go Bucks.
Go Bucks. All right. So this is what I was really going to talk about at the beginning of the show before I got sidetracked by politics. Because, I don't do that on the show, but I just thought that was odd. That's just kind of a weird thing for somebody to be concerned about. At least that's my view. So there was a report yesterday on Channel 7, and I just didn't get to it last night. We were talking about people's first bikes, and that was a fun conversation. But the Dayton police say that there is a graffiti problem in our city, and it's huge. It is big. This is a big problem. And I thought, well, I've lived here for a long time, and every time I go downtown or go through downtown, which I do frequently, I always see graffiti, whether it's on an overpass, whether it's on a building that might be abandoned, might not be abandoned. I see it along the highway. We all see it. This has been a problem for a very long time. I don't think this is anything new. And most big cities have this issue. So I don't know that our issue with this is a bigger problem than other cities. I mean, I'm sure if you've been through major metropolitan areas, you've seen all kinds of graffiti everywhere. And Dayton is no exception. Maybe we just don't have as much because we're not as big as, say, a Chicago or a Cleveland or something like that. But this has been a problem for a long time, in my estimation. But this is another situation where I feel like because, and we talked about this a few weeks ago, with this whole NATO summit that's going to be happening here in a couple of weeks, where they're shutting down downtown Dayton, essentially. And you can't get in without 10 forms of ID, a blood sample, DNA, maybe a stool sample. I don't know. But they're not going to let you in. Don't even try. But this, to me, this is why it's a problem now, is because all of these dignitaries are coming. And it's infuriating, at least to me, and I'm sure it's infuriating to many of you, that why are these issues now a problem where before it just seemed like, oh, we'll get to it eventually. We'll take care of it. You know, the uneven road down there by 5th Street in the Oregon District, you know, right there by the corner. It's been that way for, I don't know, 20 years. But now we need to fix it. We need this to be fixed, right? And they're really putting on a good show. I give them credit for that. But to me, this is the same thing. And it says, police said Tuesday that the graffiti problem is close to out of hand in Dayton, with too many people disrespecting other people's homes, garages, and businesses. But this is part of their focus to try to clean up the city for the NATO summit that's coming. And this is just one more example. The people that live here pay the taxes for all of this, right? We have to deal with it every day. I'm irritated with the fact that it's like, you know what it's like? And I got to be honest, it's a little bit like when, and this happens in my house, okay? When people are coming over, that's when we vacuum, right? When people are coming over, that's when we really dig deep and clean up the counters and the bathrooms. I mean, don't misunderstand. We're not slobs, right? But we have people coming. We have guests coming. So we want to clean everything up, shine it up, do a quick clutter pickup, you know, get rid of stuff that we don't need, clean up the place, like right before the holidays. Now, you do that in your house. I do that in my house. That's your business. But it's a little infuriating to me that here we are, citizens of this community, and we have to deal with this all the time, all of it. Crappy roads, potholes, graffiti, whatever it might be. And now we got to get it fixed because a bunch of people are coming here from NATO. Really?
What am I listening to now?
What is this?
The Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
It's a radio show. It's entertainment.
Fill it up, punk.
T-O.
Double D.
H.
Oh.
Double L.
S-T. I can remember that.
Locally grown, seriously funny.
I'm puzzled by the whole thing.
On WHIO.
All right, everybody, what's going on? Welcome to the show. We're going to be talking aliens later, so if you got any good alien encounters, UFO encounters, alien abductions, whatever it might be, after 6 o'clock, we want to hear your stories. Heather, there's going to be real potential for thunderstorms late tonight and into tomorrow morning. We could have a brief spin up of a tornado. We could have some hail, lots of lightning, that kind of deal. So we're just trying to keep people alerted. Because when it comes at night, it can be a bit surprising. So that's why. Oh, hell. Susan, I agree. I 100%. My only point is that if we're going to roll out the red carpet for dignitaries and clean up the place, why can't we do that for the people that live here? That's all. Parker, if you don't mind me saying, you look good in a sport coat. I'm wearing what I call my big boy pants. Because usually I wear just like jeans underneath my belly. But when I get dressed up, I wear the trousers and they're up over my stomach and I got my big belt on. Yeah, I hate it. Hate it. James Brown was like, oh, look at Todd. He's looking all fancy. I suppose, but that's your choice. It's like in your house, if you don't want to vacuum until people come over, that's fine. But I just feel like, we pay our taxes. They should be cleaning this crap up. I'm going to talk about it here, Josh. We had a little more detailed. We had a retirement party or a retirement luncheon for Cheryl McHenry today. Lots of dignitaries. Lots of WHIO alumni were there. Governor DeWine was there. His wife was there. Jim Baldridge was there. Lots of folks that you would recognize from radio and TV over the years that have retired were here. It's kind of cool to see everybody. Hey, Marcia. I love a good secret plan. Ron, do you have a secret plan? Wish I had a secret plan.
Conditions are right for severe thunderstorms through Friday night. Well, the latest at 5:30 now. Back to the Evening Edge with Todd Hollst on 1290 and 95.7 WHIO.
I'm just trying to make a living.
The Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Call Todd now, 937-457-1290, or message him at Evening Edge Todd.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
Back here on the Evening Edge, Monday through Friday, 5 to 7. Live stream is up on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. Talking about this story that Dayton police say graffiti is a big, big problem in Dayton. It's out of hand. And I would agree. But I've felt this way for a long time. And now it feels like we're dealing with that and some of the other issues that we have, whether it be lousy roads or potholes or sprucing up downtown because the native people are coming. And I just feel like, well, what about the people that live here every day? Why do we have to look at all that? But I get it. Rob and Dayton, what's up, Rob?
Hey, how you doing, Todd?
I'm doing well. What's going on with you?
Oh, man, another glorious day.
It is a glorious day here in the Miami Valley.
It is, but I think you hit it right on the head. You know, it's like when you got company coming, you always clean up the house.
Right. But see, that's your choice because that's your house and you can be a lazy slob if you want to, just like I am. But, you know, we're all, we all pay taxes, you know, and it shouldn't be one of those things where it's like, well, maybe the city will clean things up. Oh, now that the big wigs are coming. Right.
Well, my curiosity is this. There used to be a place right off of Wayne Avenue, down by the Oregon, where artists could go into a garden area. They could paint the walls. They could create art. They could do anything they wanted to, really.
Right.
My daughter even took senior pictures in front of some of the butterflies. And there used to be a place off of Smithfield down by Linden.
Yeah, yeah. There's still some places that are like that, Rob. And I got news here, so I appreciate your comment. There are still places that are like that. But we're not dealing with artists. I'm not saying that the taggers aren't artistic, but they're vandals. They're not artists. There's a huge difference.
What am I listening to now?
What is this?
The Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
It's a radio show. It's entertainment.
Coming up,
T-O.
Double D.
Oh.
Double L.
S-T. I can remember that.
Locally grown, seriously funny
I'm puzzled by the whole thing.
on WHIO.
Live from the WHIO News Center, this is Miami Valley's news at 5:30. Our top local story, severe thunderstorms could fire up across the Miami Valley beginning tonight.
We are watching for chances of severe thunderstorms both tonight and again tomorrow night. I'm Chief Meteorologist Austin Cheney. My forecast is coming up.
This traffic report is sponsored by Grismer Tire and Auto Service. Refresh your ride with brand new tires at unbeatable prices. Plus, buy 4 new tires and get 4 free oil changes, an additional $300 value. Make an appointment today at grismertire.com.
Well, it looks like that backup is getting a lot better. Eastbound Route 35 near Smithville, traffic is moving through there at a normal pace. We don't have any other accidents on the freeway system, and the pace is pretty well at this hour. I'm Will Harris, WHIO Triple Team Traffic.
These stories and more coming up. I'm Ron Otto. WHIO News Time is exactly 5:30.
WHIO, Dayton, Springfield. Celebrating our 90th year as the Miami Valley's leading news station. Weather, traffic, and breaking news starts now.
It is our top local story. The Storm Center is activated. Severe thunderstorms are possible tonight and tomorrow night.
The Storm Prediction Center is giving us the 2 out of 5 slight risk for severe thunderstorms tonight, then a 3 out of 5 tomorrow night. Threats include damaging winds, large hail, and even the possibility of a few tornadoes.
The Storm Center 7 Chief Meteorologist Austin Cheney has the latest forecast in moments. Springfield police identified 2 people killed in separate shootings in Springfield Wednesday. News Center 7's Letitia Perry has more.
The first shooting happened just after 3 a.m. on Elder.
Boy, I am slipping on the buttons, aren't I? What is going on? Sorry about that. Oh, who's watching on TikTok here? Wow, we got a number of people on tonight. Awesome. Thanks for watching. Have you seen the story? I'm going to talk about this here, that toupees are making a comeback. I still see some bad toupees. Now there's an idea. I don't even know. I don't know that you can post emojis on, can you post emojis on the live stream feed? I don't know if you can. Maybe you can. I don't know. Oh, well, I guess you can, Heather. Well, we need to find some sort of emoji that resembles a button. So when I leave the commercials on, you guys are inundated with them. You can just start hitting the emoji. Though buttons gets my attention pretty good. But our engineer was just outside the window. He wore a tie today. for the big retirement party. And now he was just doing kind of a sexy dance with the tie, which I needed to see. Lordy, lordy. Oh, man. Do 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 do.
WHIO Storm Center is currently activated. We'll break in whenever you need to know about approaching severe weather. WHIO.
Don't give me that politics, Jazz. It's not my racket.
People are tired of hearing nothing but doom and despair on the radio.
Everyone just relax, all right? The problems of the world are not in my department.
Now, who would like a cookie? It's the Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Call me at 457-1290.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
Back here on the Evening Edge, Monday through Friday, 5 to 7. Live stream is up on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. A couple of things. Just after 6, we're going to have a guest in the studio, David McWhorter. He's from UFO 101 and the Fairborn UFO Conference. You've been hearing me talk about it. It's happening the first weekend in June. He's going to be here. We're going to dig a little deeper into this event and why I think it has the potential to become like the signature event here in the Miami Valley. I really believe that. Also, we want to hear about your UFO sightings and encounters. I know some of you have had them. You've called the show with them. So think about it. Think about it. Also, coming up at 7 o'clock on Channel 7, I want you to all watch this if you can. There's a special presentation about the 44-year career of none other than Cheryl McHenry, longtime news anchor at News Center 7. She was on the show the other night. Only had her for a brief time, but it was really nice to have her on. She's a big fan of the show, and I'm not just saying that. She really is a fan of the show. She, from time to time, she'd see me in the hallway. She goes, I heard you talking about that Florida guy, or I heard this, or I heard that, you know? So there's going to be a special on. And today we had a very nice retirement luncheon for her. A lot of the folks that you would know their names or their faces from years past at Channel 7 and WHIO Radio. We were here. It was great. Jim Baldridge was here. Sally Taylor was here. Becky Grimes was here. I mean, so many people. Byron Sturzman, who was a award-winning videographer. Jim Oddie was here. I mean, there were so many people in front of the camera and behind the scenes that came back. It was so cool. But that's going to be on at 7 o'clock. So when the show is over at 7, make sure you flip it to 7. See what I did there? Oh, pretty good. The other thing that I wanted to mention, and I heard this morning on Miami Valley's Morning News, and Larry, I thought it was interesting that he was talking about this because, as we all know, Larry is bald. And he's a beautiful bald man. There's no question about it. He is a beautiful bald man. And I actually saw this story, and then I heard him talking about it, that apparently, according to the New York Post, toupees are trending. Toupees. Toupee or not toupee. As balding men are embracing them as a stylish alternative to hair transplants. And according to this story, men as young as 20 are opting for retro wigs over expensive hair restoration procedures. Now, my question is this. Seriously. There are toupees, which are, high quality, professionally made toupees. We've all seen them. They were really, really popular back in the 70s and 80s. And every once in a while, you still see somebody out there wearing a toupee. And you know it's a toupee. But my question is now, with this younger group, and maybe you know somebody who's like this, early 20s, they're already going bald. Are they actually wearing those toupees? Or are they just going to Amazon and buying a Halloween wig? Because I've been seeing a lot of people, and I know they're making a comeback, but I've been seeing a lot of people with mullets. And I actually have a mullet wig. You know, a couple of years ago, I went as a Florida man for Halloween. And I had the perfect mullet wig. And I wonder if that's what they're going with, because those are super cheap, right? A real toupee is not cheap. It's like a high-end woman's wig. It's not something you know buy cheap on Amazon or eBay or wherever. But I'm just curious if they're actually spending a decent amount of money on these toupees. And I honestly, most of the people that I see wearing toupees now, when I do, and we all see them from time to time, they're usually older gentlemen. And a lot of the toupees, they look a little cheesy. Let's be honest. Because some of them are not great. But are there new? Is there a new technology? Are they looking better? Parker, is that a toupee? Nope, not a toupee.
All real.
That should be a feature, though. It'd be great if this was on TV. I mean, I know we do the live stream, but we could do toupee or not toupee. Show pictures of random guys. Toupee or not toupee? That is the question. 937-457-1290. John in Dayton. What's up, John?
Hi, Todd. This is your artist friend. From time to time we talk.
Yes, John. How are you doing?
I'm good. Being a full-time artist, I'll give you a comment about graffiti art.
Right.
These are people, not necessarily all of them are vandals. They're trying to express themselves. So I propose maybe along the river corridor, we could put up some large concrete blocks, maybe 8 by 10, and it would be a place for them to express themselves. And then from time to time, we'd white it out and they could start all over again. I think they're just looking for places to do it. Not necessarily do they want to do it on the wall of a building, but there's no other alternative.
Well, here's what I would say. I understand the spirit in which you're talking about this. There are some graffiti artists who are wonderful, wonderful artists, 100%. But a lot of the tagging that I see, it's not art. And what I mean is it's like a symbol, almost like a gang symbol. I'm not saying that it's a gang symbol. I have no idea if it's a gang symbol, but that's what it looks like. It doesn't look like art. It's just, somebody climbing up on a overpass, and putting some sort of text on there that nobody else can really read or understand what it says. That's what I'm talking about. And I agree. There are places in Dayton where there are large concrete walls where there's been beautiful pieces of art, logos, whatever it might be. I'm with you there 100%. I think what I'm talking about are the guys that are out there with one spray paint can and they're writing some word that nobody else understands what it is. And they're doing it on private property. They're doing it on people's garages. They're doing it on overpass. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's not.
I totally agree. And maybe they should be caught and set an example by finding them or having them go around and scrub all the graffiti off of different places.
Yeah. I still, there's an old train trestle not far from the station here on South Patterson. The trestle is gone, but the supports, the pillars or whatever you want to call them, the concrete supports on both sides of the road are still there, and they've been painted white. And I remember a couple of years ago when we were trying to get the Cheez-It statue, and you did a lot of Cheez-It artwork yourself. I wanted somebody to go down there and do a Cheez-It there, with a cool logo. It says, Dayton, Ohio, home of the Cheez-It, right there. That would be perfect as you head down towards Carillon.
I know exactly where you're
Get on that, John. Yeah. Get on that. All right, buddy.
Nice to talk to you.
Appreciate your call. That line's open 937-457-1290. But there is a difference. There's 100% a difference. There's a lot of places that, that they've turned into sort of, just an art structure or whatever you want to call it, where there are nice things that are painted. There's one down by the fire station right there by 35. That whole wall, it's like the history of the fire department, and there's, pictures and logo. I mean, that 100%. What I'm talking about is just the scribble, and they're doing it on abandoned buildings. They're doing it on overpasses. You know what? Sometimes I'm sure you're this way too. When you're driving down the highway and you see that somebody has written or tagged graffiti on one of those big highway street signs. How the hell did they get up there? How did they do that and still manage to make it look as legible as it could? How did they do that? How did they get away with that? Did nobody see them? And I'm sure they're very quick about it. Crazy. 937-457-1290. Let's see. We got an Ohio man here. Got time for this.
Ohio man causing chaos is his plan. Breaking all the laws on the run from dusk to dawn.
Well, I saw this story, and this could be a controversial topic, and I don't want it to be, but I saw this and I thought, what is this person thinking? So there's a guy in Beechwood, Ohio, who has been arrested because on several occasions, this guy went to the Beechwood Public Library, and he told a librarian there that he had a child who was LGBTQ, and he wanted to check out some books so he could learn a little bit about it. So the first trip, he got a library card, and he borrowed 50 books on that topic and several other topics, including Jewish history and African American history. And then he went back days later and checked out more books, about another 50 books, same subjects. Any guesses on what he did then? He started a video and he burned them. He burned these books. Now, I understand he was trying to make a political statement here. We all understand that. But here's the deal. One, he was arrested. Two, he's going to have to pay for the books. And three, by the way, the library will just reorder the books. So I don't know what the point was other than a little social media video. But this guy is I'm sure he's going to go to jail.
What am I listening to now?
What is this?
The Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
It's a radio show. It's entertainment.
Fill it up.
T-O.
Double D.
H. Oh.
Double L.
S-T. I can remember that.
Locally grown, seriously funny.
I'm puzzled by the whole thing.
On WHIO.
All right, folks, I need to go out and get my guest. I'll be right back. Yeah, I trust you guys to behave when I'm gone. Sorry, I just had to run out and get my guest. All right. Ron, please don't get tattoos all over your face. Please don't do it. So, folks on TikTok, just so you know, I'm going to have a guest on here in the 6 o'clock hour. Unfortunately, you won't be able to see the guest on TikTok. However, the folks on the live stream on Facebook and YouTube will be able to see my guest, David McWhorter from UFO 101. So, if by chance you are interested in that, you can find me on Facebook. At Evening Edge Todd, or on YouTube at Evening Edge Todd, and you can watch the interview there. Thank you, sir. So you're going to be on camera, just so you know. We're right here on the live stream. You're all good. You're all set to go. So when we come out of the news, I've got one more segment. I'm going to take, I was going to take a call, but she hung up. So I'm just going to tease that you're here. If you got, UFO stories or whatever, give us a call and we're going to talk about the event. And then when we come back, I'll have you on camera and everything. Headphones are right there.
I need
them. You're going to be on for an hour. So I'd go ahead and especially if we get a call, there's a volume button on that box that it's plugged into. You can, that side, your left side. No, there you go. Yeah, now you got put the padded part on your ear. Okay, and you should be able to control the volume with that little button. All right, give me 1 minute.
Breathe easy. Choose McAfee. Call today or visit mcair.com. This is WHIO Dayton and WHIO FM Pleasant Hill. All news, all the time.
Hamvention returns for another year. We'll have the latest at 6 o'clock. Now back to the Evening Edge with Todd Hollst on 1290 at 95.7 WHIO.
At best, you're an underachiever at a local radio station.
The Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Call Todd now, 937-457-1290, or message him at Evening Edge Todd.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
Back here on the Evening Edge, Monday through Friday, 5 to 7, live stream. Up here on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. So coming up after the 6 o'clock news, we've got a special guest. His name is David McWhorter. He's from UFO 101. They're located in New Carlisle, and they got a Facebook page. You can go and find him and follow him. He's here to talk about two things. One, the first ever Fairborn UFO Conference. It's going to be happening the first weekend in June. They've got events scheduled for that Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We're going to talk about all of it. Also, plans to make Fairborn the Roswell of the Midwest. That is the goal. So we're going to have a lively discussion about that. And because we get them from time to time here on the show, your UFO stories.
I'm not saying it's space aliens, right? But it goes without saying it's space aliens.
A lot of people have called. They've seen things in the sky. They've had unusual encounters, unusual or very unusual experiences, whatever it might be. And I'm inviting you to call in 937-457-1290. And we're going to talk about that all coming up here on the Evening Edge.
It's the Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Call Todd now, 937-457-1290, or message him at Evening Edge Todd.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
People on the live stream can hear us. You won't be able to hear yourself, but they'll be able to hear you. Like they can hear me right now, but
okay.
What's going out over the air is news, and we'll have commercials and traffic and all that. But the folks on the live stream can hear us. They don't hear the station. So
gotcha.
But anyway, so is your day going good?
Doing well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. I've been looking forward to this.
Well, I've been looking forward to having you on. You know, it's one thing to just sort of talk about it and promote it, but to really kind of dig into it, you know, is kind of what I'm excited about.
Good.
You know?
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll have some fun with it, and hopefully we'll get some alien calls, you know. You're not here, Joel, you're not hearing anything, right? You're not hearing the station. You shouldn't be. Maybe it was through my headphones you were hearing. Sometimes I'll just interact with people on the live stream. So random shout outs. Oh, we've got a call. We got a call about an alien story. So that's good. Cool. So how are ticket sales going? Some of this stuff I'll bring up again.
Okay.
So don't be surprised.
I appreciate it. Ticket sales is getting there.
We're
getting there. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
And I think we'll get a mad rush on the very end. As it gets closer, because people have busy schedule and they want to make sure it fits in their schedule.
Yeah, you're gonna sell them at the door, right? So
we
people
will
can show up.
Yes,
because I think that's a lot of it too.
Yeah.
And first of all, it's like the first weekend, kind of the first weekend of summer. You know, people are going to be out of school that last week of May, first week of June, and they might have, you know, just kind of keeping it open to see what happens.
Exactly.
So
yes,
but that'll be good. That'll be good, and we can talk about who's going to be there. I think that's the main focus at the beginning.
Okay.
Let's talk about the conference, and then we can go back and talk about Friday night and the movie and the costume. And then of course the alien golf, the alien disc golf.
Yes. Yeah. The conference is definitely
where
we should focus on.
So, I'll ask you how you got involved and, you know, all of it.
Okay. Sounds good.
We'll just have a conversation. But awesome. How long have you been working with Bill on this?
Like 4 months.
Okay.
Yeah, I was brought on just
kind of after the
yes.
And, okay.
And I guess they needed someone, so I said I would help. So
well, I'm glad that you did, because you know, the first couple conversations I had with him, I mean, it sounded really good, but I felt like it was struggling to get out of the gate a little bit.
Absolutely. That first one's the hard one, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I told him this, you know, the first time I talked to him, and you know, I have done so many events over the years, and this job or just radio and in general. And I was the director of entertainment for the Dragons, their inaugural season. So I had a ton of events, and every game was an event.
Yes.
You know, the first couple, you're still learning, you know, and you got to figure out what works and what doesn't work, and what did we forget, and how did we miss that, you know, all those things. But you just got to dig in and get that first one under your belt, you know. And I know that they've had a couple of start and stalls over the last few years.
They have,
but there's nothing you can do about some of that.
You got to look forward.
Yeah.
Right.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. So it'll be good. It'll be good. And hopefully the weather will be nice. And
So how long you been doing this?
Well, I started doing this show back in 2018. I was only on Sundays. And then during COVID, they had me start doing a daily show where it was basically COVID. Like I just talk about whatever was going on in the news, but I sort of did it in a way that was entertaining. So after that was over with, they said, "Hey, we have an idea." And I said, "Well, great, because I have an idea." And I ended up starting my daily show Monday through Friday. Started out 7 to 9, and then it was 6 to 8, and then it was 5 to 7. So I keep moving up earlier and earlier.
Which are preferred?
100%
slots,
yeah.
right? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, my preference would be doing afternoons, 3 to 6 or something like that, or 3 to 7, but we'll see what happens. Who knows what the future holds.
Right.
But I've been working in radio since 1989, and I've only worked in Dayton. I worked in television too at Channel 7. I've worked at different radio stations, and I was promotions manager and events manager at all of those places, like I am here now. So that's just kind of my specialty.
Your forte.
Yeah. So, Ron, I'm not going to retire. I promise. Ron says, "What do we do if Todd retires?" I'm not retiring. Why would I retire from this job? Seriously. I just come in and talk. I mean, I could do it at home or I could do it here. I'd rather do it here.
And you're getting paid for it.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, if I was digging ditches, then maybe I would retire, but not interested in that. I think that's on their mind because I mentioned earlier we had a retirement luncheon for Cheryl McHenry.
Yeah.
And today it was.
Was it?
Yeah, it was luncheon. A bunch of folks that have worked here over the years that have since retired, and it's like, I don't know. What do you guys do now? What do you do? Oh, we travel. We go like, I'd rather do this.
You might get to that point.
Maybe. All right, here we go. Get your headphones on, and we'll be ready to roll here.
WHIO Dayton's news and talk depend on it.
The WHIO Storm Center is currently activated. We'll break in whenever you need to know about approaching severe weather. WHIO.
Can I turn on your radio?
Yes, already.
It's almost showtime.
Who's your favorite talk radio personality?
That's Todd.
He's weird.
Monday through Friday.
He's strange. 5 to 7. Sloppy.
I mean, he sounds perfect.
He's dreamy.
What do you say? Let's get it going.
It's the Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Call me now, 937-457-1290.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
I'm not saying it's space aliens, right? But it goes without saying it's space aliens.
It is the Evening Edge, Monday through Friday, 5 to 7. Live stream is up on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. Coming up on, it's the first weekend of June, 6th, 7th, and 8th. It is the first ever Fairborn UFO Conference. They've got 3 days of activities planned. And joining me in the studio is David McWhorter. He's from UFO 101. They're an organization in New Carlisle. You can find them on Facebook. I posted about them earlier today. You can follow the little hot link, if you will, and find their page. But David is here. Been looking forward to this, so thank you for coming on the show tonight.
Thank you for having me.
And we're going to talk about this UFO conference and everything that went into planning it, and what's going to be happening. But most of all, you and I have talked off the air a number of times, and I'm just super psyched about this whole thing because I feel much like you. And there was a great article in the Dayton Daily News about this. They talked to you about making Fairborn the Roswell of the Midwest. And I'm with you 100%. because I had some folks on last night from the aviation trail, right? And I said, it's a weird parallel, but just following me on this, David. The Wright brothers, they started here 100%. And we have all these great landmarks and museums and all these attractions here locally. We argue with North Carolina about Kitty Hawk. I say, as many do, they had the win in the soft landing. We had all the brains and the technology. Here's what I have to say about Roswell. Roswell had a desert that a supposed UFO crashed in. That's what they had. That's all they had. But then it was scooped up, and where was it brought? It was brought over to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. That's where all the examination, that's where all the technology is. That's where, they studied about this. They studied that. The Project Blue Book was based there back in the 60s and the 70s, where they were investigating UFO, the UFO phenomenon and UFO reports and all of those things. It's all right here. I think we have more invested in this whole notion about UFOs and Hangar 18 and all of that than what Roswell has. And I feel like this is the time for you guys to just get going, and I'm so happy that this is finally happening. So that's my long intro. But thank you so much for being on the show and taking this endeavor under. I know you're working with a number of other people.
Yes, we have a great staff. That Bill's formed for us, and we all work really well together. And I think that has made a difference this year.
Right. And I know that there was a couple of starts and stalls over the last few years. Certain things happen you can't really control, but it sounds to me like now you've got some real momentum. I mean, you don't have just the conference, which would be cool, right? If you're really interested in the UFO phenomenon and meeting other people and talking to experts who have really studied all of this, but you've got some other activities that are really, sort of more like family oriented, right?
Yes.
So let's talk about those.
Okay. Well, it's community based.
Right.
And we are having a costume contest over in Yellow Springs, the Lowe Art Theater, and that will be June 6th. And that starts at 6:00. And it's not just for children. Adults can dress up as well. And we have some great unique alien trophies.
100%. I have seen pictures of these, and my gosh, I would love to have one of those in my studio at home. They are so cool. Somebody really put a lot of effort and work into creating these trophies, but you've got there's different age groups, right? There's for kids, there's for adults.
I think there's 4 different.
Yeah. And you can, again, by the way, you can find details on the event. You can find it on my Facebook page. If you just go to @EveningEdgeTodd on Facebook, right at the very top, pinned is a link to the UFO Fairborn UFO Conference, and it will take you to where you can get tickets, and there's other information on there as well. So that is all there. And then after the costume contest, they're going to be showing one of the classic alien films of all time. Not to scare anybody, right? We're not showing Alien. We're showing
E.T.
E.T.
Yes.
The extraterrestrial, classic Steven Spielberg film.
I know I watched it when I was a kid.
Oh, 100%. Yes. I remember going to the cinemas in Beaver Valley Cinema with my family and watching it and just being like blown away by it, because that was the first alien movie, to my recollection, that wasn't really trying to scare you,
Yes.
They weren't all here to eat your brains like zombies or kill you or whatever. It's just ET.
Yeah,
it's just ET. So you got that going on. So that's going to be happening Friday in Yellow Springs at the Little Art Theater. And then on Saturday, that is kind of like that's the main focus, because you guys are bringing in some experts on ufology. Is it ufology or UFOlogy? Ufology, right. You're going to have some folks coming in, and you're having this conference over at the Fairborn Holiday Inn. So who are we going to be seeing over there?
Okay, well, at first, the whole event is going to be kicked off. Representative Brian Lampton is coming in, and he's going to open the ceremonies up as well with Mayor of Fairborn, Dan Kirkpatrick.
Oh, so the mayor's on board with this. Okay.
Yes, he is. He's really into this.
Right.
So they're going to open up the ceremonies, and then we have Tom Wertman. He's from north of Columbus, but he is the director of Ohio MUFON, and he's going to be our first speaker, and he's going to stay on as our host the rest of the day.
Nice.
Yes.
So cool. So you've got some folks lined up, and the big thing, though, I think, is going to be just the mixing and mingling. You're going to meet a lot of people there that maybe they have an interest like you, or or they've had an experience or whatever it is, that you're all in one place, and it's kind of neat to sort of make that network.
Yes.
Meet those other folks. So that goes on Saturday. Starts at what time, you said?
Well, the doors open up at 8.
Okay.
And then Representative Lampton will come on at 9.
Okay. And goes until
6
o'clock.
Yes.
Okay. Wow.
Yes, we have 7 speakers, and so it's a full day.
7 speakers. Wow.
Yes.
Wow. So, I mean, if you get online and you look, and there's I know there's a list of the folks there. If you can't make it to the whole thing, it's only $15 to get in.
Oh, right.
Yeah. You can at least come and sort of cherry pick what you want to see.
Absolutely.
Maybe if there's somebody there that piques your interest, maybe you've heard them on Coast to Coast AM here on WHIO overnight, or you've seen them on TV or whatever it might be. That's the time you could go see.
And I keep saying that it'd be difficult to find, even seeing one of these speakers for $15. And you get to see 7 of them.
Right.
So it's an amazing deal.
Yeah, 100%. So that's going to be Saturday during the day.
Yes.
And then on Sunday, this is a different kind of idea. I think this is kind of cool. It's alien disc golf. Right?
Yes.
So where's this going to be taking place, and what's the premise of this whole thing?
Okay. Well, it's going to be held at the Fairborn Community Park.
Okay. Is that the one right next to the old Fairborn High School?
That's correct.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yes. It's now the middle school.
Right.
Yes. And it starts at you can come in 11. Well, you can register now by the way online, and maybe we can link that.
Oh, sure.
From your site. So you can check in at 10 to 10:30, I think, or I'm sorry, 11 o'clock. And then the actual event starts at noon, and it's a double. So it's 2 people per team.
Okay.
And the cost is only $25 per person.
Okay.
And half of the proceeds will go to our Fish Fairborn Pantry.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So
there's a nonprofit element.
Absolutely, which is great.
Yeah.
Yes. And then the other half will go to the winners.
Oh, okay.
So
all right.
We're not getting anything from that.
So this is disc golf. I'm sure many people have seen this on TV. Maybe, I know that we have edge heads that played it because we've talked about it on the show before. Mm-hmm. So they're going to be you're just going out there and you're playing a round of disc golf. But what's the alien twist to this?
Okay. What you refer to as UFO Bill,
yes,
has purchased these.
He needs a hat that says that.
Yes, he has purchased his own disc.
Oh, wow.
With his own logo, and it also has a UFO symbol on it.
Yeah,
and every participant that pays to get into this tournament will receive one free.
Oh, cool.
Yes.
Cool.
And they're going to be a collector's item.
Yeah.
So
awesome.
Yeah. So it should be a pretty good opportunity to have some fun.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. Now we're going to touch on all of this once again a little bit later. We've got a call. Oh. Somebody has an alien story, but we got a break here. So we're going to do a break here. Then we're going to come back and we're going to talk to William. So William, hang on the line and we'll get to your alien story. If you happen to have an alien story or some sort of encounter that you would like to share. 937-457-1290 is the number. We'd love to chat with you.
What am I listening to now? What is this?
The Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
It's a radio show. It's entertainment.
Fill it up.
T.
Oh.
Double D.
H.
Oh.
Double L.
S. T. I can remember that.
Locally grown, seriously funny.
I'm puzzled by the whole thing.
On WHIO.
Yeah, that was awesome. Good stuff. So who are the other you mentioned?
I was going to do that.
Yeah,
well,
go ahead and hit them again.
Okay.
We can mention them again here in a bit.
Yeah, I was going to go down the list, or at least mention
who
some
do you
of
got?
the main ones.
Who do you got? We'll come back to that.
Okay,
we'll do it again.
We have Donald Schmidt, which is our keynote.
Okay.
And he's well known in the genre.
Okay.
And then we have a couple of local people, which I wanted homegrown. Some
cool.
people from local, and maybe they can get in the national spotlight down the road.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So we have a couple. Her name's Ashley Hilt and Lemoyne Rice. And Lemoyne is also on our staff.
Okay.
The planning staff for Bill's event.
All right.
Yeah. And then Ben Moss is coming in from Missouri, and he's been on several shows. And then we have 2 Zoom calls coming in. One from Mike Barra. He does Ancient Aliens.
Okay. I saw him.
And then Thomas Carey. He also co-wrote a book with Donald Schmidt.
Okay.
So they were unable to come in, so we were still able to get them.
Oh, but yeah, that's cool. I just have them up on the big screen, and yeah, that's awesome. Well, good deal. So we got a couple of comments here on the live stream. Let's see. John says, my brother was stationed there at Wright Pat. He said there was one area he was never allowed to talk about. He was stationed there from 91 to 98. Always scared him and others all the time. Big brass would show up and only go to that area. Well, I one night we had a lady call the show with a story about Wright Pat. And of course, like many stories of this nature, they're secondhand. Somebody told me, but here's the story. The story was, and I forget which area. I don't know if it was close to Hangar 18 or which area of the base it was at. I think over in the testing technology area, over close to where the museum is, but I forget which area that is. But the story is that she knows a guy who was stationed there, and he and a buddy, every night they would take 2 chimpanzees and put it in a cage out in front of one of these hangars. And once they did that, they were to leave the area. And they never, for the longest time, they never knew what happened. They'd go back and the cage was empty. Okay. So the story that she told on the air was that one night they did this, but instead of leaving the area, they hid. And the story that she gave was that at some point, while they're watching these 2 chimps in this giant cage, there was a laser that shot from one of the buildings, and the chimpanzees disappeared. And whether they were vaporized or, transported, nobody knows.
Yes.
But that was a crazy story. And it was just like, we had this conversation and somebody called in with it. Hang on the line. We'll be right with you. Hold on real quick.
Hey, Todd.
I put 2 on hold for you. Yeah.
I have something for you.
Okay. Well, save it for the air. Save it for the air.
I was going to ask you
Let's do it
that.
after 6:30 because I want to try to get this call in.
Okay. Good.
And then, we can do that then.
Oh, great.
So, And I'm still working on a shirt for you.
Oh, no
I know,
worries.
I know that you're interested in that. There's the sign back there.
Oh,
yeah.
nice. I really like that.
Well, there's no time to do it now, but after you and I talked, I thought what we could do is, since you guys have a charity involved with this, maybe next year when you do this, because I'm sure that's the plan.
Oh, yes.
I would be more than happy to donate that design to put on shirts that you guys could turn around and sell, and give the money to the charity.
Yes.
And I know the guys at Titan Graphics, they do like all my stuff. Maybe they would cut us a break or something, on t-shirts or cost or whatever. But I think people would go bananas for that shirt. That logo is so cool.
Yes, it is.
So,
yes.
But we can talk about that.
Okay, sure.
At some point. My pleasure, John. I'm glad. I don't know that every show is great, but I do my best. Do my best. All right, here we go.
Elementary school classroom. We'll have more at 6:30. Now back to the Evening Edge with Todd Hollst on 1290 and 95.7 WHIO.
From a psychological standpoint, the radio station represents a link to normalcy.
The Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Call Todd now, 937-457-1290, or message him at Evening Edge Todd.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
Back here on the Evening Edge, Monday through Friday, 5 to 7, live stream up on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. I'm interested in that story that Ron has. That's the second story in like a month and a half where Jell-O shots ended up in a kid's classroom. One, I think, happened at Christmas time, and the person who was responsible was just charged. Now this is another story. Jell-O shots at school. Wow. 937-457-1290 in the studio. David McWhorter, he's from UFO 101. We're talking about the Fairborn UFO Conference, but we're also taking your calls if maybe you've had some sort of alien encounter or lights in the sky that you can't explain. We'd love to talk to you. 937-457-1290. And we've got William and Enon. Hey, William, how you doing?
Hanging in there. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. So you got a alien story for us, huh?
Yeah, I was out in Snyder Road outside of Enon with my girlfriend, and we were in a field. I'll leave it at that. And we saw a bright light ball just hover real slow and went over into the field above the trees and lowered down, and the whole field looked like it was on fire.
Wow. Now, how long ago was this? Last week?
This was in 1992.
Okay.
And what happened, she would not let me leave. She freaked her out. She wanted to go.
Right. Yeah. Well, I would be scared too, being out in the field and seeing something like that.
I wanted to take my four-wheel drive and investigate because there was railroad tracks that goes right by that field.
Oh.
And I'm like, I want to go check this out. I mean, I just wanted to go so bad.
Right.
But she wasn't having it.
No, I got you. Did anybody else report seeing anything like that night that you talked to or heard?
I went and dropped her off because she lived down out in the Snyder Park trailer. Dropped her off, and I went back.
And
I went back down in there. The lights were gone.
Oh.
But I had two helicopters circle the area. That was it. I don't know if they were from Wright Pat or something, but they were military.
Probably.
And they were circling around wondering what's going on. They might have caught them on radar.
Interesting.
And my dad worked the Air Force Reserve, and I asked him to check into it. He asked somebody, and they said, "No, we don't have any reports."
Right.
So-
Well, of course, that's what they're going to say. It's all a big cover-up,
Yeah.
William.
It is.
All right. Well, thanks for that story, buddy. I appreciate it. 937-457-1290. If you've got a story, we've got somebody else who's got one. So we'll get to that. We'll get to your calls, and we'll talk more about the Fairborn UFO Conference coming up the first weekend of June 6th, 7th, and 8th. We'll dig a little more into this and talk about it and take your calls.
What am I listening to now? What is this?
The Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
It's a radio show. It's entertainment.
Fill it up.
T-O.
Double D.
H. Oh. Double L.
S-T. I can remember that.
Locally grown, seriously funny.
I'm puzzled by the whole thing.
On WHIO.
All right. Cool. Well, that was an interesting call.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You know, that's that's the thing. I from time to time I get calls like that, where somebody says they experienced something or saw something, and I don't know what it is. I keep my mind open. I have my doubts about certain things. It's like I talk about Bigfoot all the time on this show. I don't know, but I'm open to the notion that maybe there's something there, right? And it's the same with the aliens or even ghosts. I've had one or two experiences where I'm kind of like, that's interesting. But I tend to think a lot of things could be explained. But being where we are, I mean, right by the base, who knows what's going on over there? What they're flying around. So, and I think now with drones, it makes it even more challenging because people see things and like, what's that? Well, everybody has a drone now.
Pretty much, right? Yes.
But I want to talk to you about, like, have you had an encounter or something, or?
I've had one. I had a sighting.
Okay.
Yes.
So we'll get to that.
Okay,
We'll talk
sure.
about that. We'll talk about that. And then, of course, we'll hit all of the conference stuff again.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah. I try to when I do my show, I look at it like in a half an hour block.
I gotcha.
So because the change in audience, a lot of them. I mean, I have a lot of people that watch the whole show, which is great. But I try to reset every half hour with something, especially like this, because we have people coming in and out,
Right.
You figure when you're in your car and you're listening to the radio station, you might only listen for 15, 20 minutes at a time, and then you're off doing something else. So, yes, Chad, to answer your question, the event is June 6th, 7th, and 8th. It's not this weekend. It's June 6th, 7th, and 8th. You can get details on my Facebook page. There at the top, it's pinned. You'll see Fairborn UFO Conference. And that will take you, I think that particular link will take you to the Eventbrite website, which you can buy tickets. And the tickets are only $15. And what David said is 100% true. I mean, if you'd go to see any of these speakers, in an event where they're sort of the keynote or whatever it might be, it's going to cost you more than $15. This case, you get to see them all for $15. That's a pretty good deal. But yeah, so that's when it is. Let's see. I've heard that parts from the UFOs were sent from Wright Pat to Mound Lab via the tunnel, wherever reverse engineering into the power systems for the experiments left on the moon and for deep space probes. Huh? Who knows? Who knows? Captain Scurvy says he has a ton of UFO stories, but he's busy working. Well, thanks for letting us know. Oh, wow. Yeah. Oh, looks like somebody else is calling in.
Good.
Oh. So when did you start your group?
January.
Oh, just recently.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
And we were sponsored by the New Carlisle Library.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yes. And we usually get around 25, 30 people.
Oh, like you have a meeting there at the
Yes.
library and
Once,
people just show up?
the third Saturday every month.
Oh, that's neat.
And we with online we had 717 last month.
Oh, wow.
There's a good
So
following.
you guys do when you do it at the library, you do like a Facebook Live or something?
Yes.
And okay. That's cool.
So it's really growing.
Okay.
Ohio Storm Center is currently activated. We'll break in whenever you need to know about approaching severe weather. WHIO.
Be of good cheer and call me.
Call me now. Call me. He's laughing at us right on the radio.
Least we could do is get him on the radio and talk to him.
It's the Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Call me at 457-1290.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
I'm not saying it's space aliens, right? But it goes without saying it's space aliens.
Back here on the Evening Edge, Monday through Friday, 5 to 7, live stream up on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. We're talking about the first Fairborn UFO Conference happening on June 6th, 7th, and 8th in Fairborn. Also, partially in Yellow Springs at the Little Art Theater. And I'm here with David McWhorter from UFO 101. That is a organization in New Carlisle. And David, we were just talking off the air that you started this group in January of this year, and you've got tons of followers, and you hold monthly meetings.
Yes, the third Saturday of every month.
And you do that at we're at
the New Carlisle Library.
Okay. All right. So they kind of sponsored you, I guess.
Yes.
And you show up there, you get a couple dozen people come out. They talk about ufology or maybe experiences that they had, and you live stream it so you can watch it, and you can just find them on Facebook. You know, we just talked to somebody who had an experience themselves. Got a couple other people that are online. I'm curious about you, David. What got you into ufology? And
well, as a kid, I used to watch the show Night Stalker.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you remember that.
Oh, I do. Yeah.
Okay, it's about our age group time.
Yeah.
And that strange mystery type of thing always fascinated me.
Right.
And then my older brother would he was interested in UFOs, and I just followed his lead.
Yeah.
And I started building a collection of my own library of UFO books.
Yeah.
And that's where I am now.
That's cool. The show that I remember watching was with Leonard Nimoy, In Search Of.
Oh, yes.
That was a big one. And then I also remember at my school library, they got a series of books that were one book was about Bigfoot, one was about the Loch Ness, one was about UFOs. There was also one, I think, about vampires or something, but I just remember checking those books out all the time and being just terribly interested in a lot of that. But so that's kind of cool. Now, have you had your own experience?
Actually, I have. 1999, I used to work for Honda America, and I would get off at midnight, and I would drive from Marysville back
Oh,
to
right.
New Carlisle.
Yeah.
And it was about 1:00 in the morning, north of New Carlisle, and I saw a triangle. It flew right over the top of me, and it was massive. Yes, and it had the typical lights on the corners and the big light in the middle.
Yeah.
And it just hovered right across and went right across the road, right at the same time I was going underneath. It was amazing.
Quiet? Was it
Yes,
quiet?
it was quiet.
Wow. You don't have any missing time, do you?
No, other people have asked me that. Now looking back, I wonder, maybe I did. I don't know.
Maybe you did. Maybe you were probed.
Yeah.
You don't know it. 937-457-1290. If you have a story that you'd like to share. Jason in Springfield. What's up, Jason?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing well.
All right. It's a long story, but I'll try to make it as short as I
Yeah, try
possibly
to
can.
abbreviate it as much as you can. We got other people who want to chat.
Yep, coming back from a birthday party on Monroe. Jumping on the interstate at 75 right there, coming down there by Trader's World. And I just happened to look over to my left, which would be west, and I seen these two lights. They had great distance in between each other, but they were both traveling at the same speed, and they were almost parallel with one another. Well, they were traveling down. I was just watching them, wasn't looking ahead, except for on the highway, right? But anyway, they stopped and they shot back the opposite direction on a dime. Okay.
Oh, wow.
So I'm like really freaking out. And then they reversed course again. But this time they went to what we all are going to call the mothership. And this thing, and I ain't kidding, because it was pretty much daylight. My wife is absolutely anti-UFO. Okay.
Okay.
Throw it out there. She does not believe in it. So anyway, these two lights get to this cigar symmetrical looking frozen object, and it's huge. It isn't little, it's huge in scale. I can tell it's huge. And I asked my wife, and two of my three girls were with me, and I said, "What is that?" And my wife's immediate answer to that was, "I don't know. Get out of here."
Oh, wow. Yeah. So she had a feeling of some sort. She didn't want to be there. Wow, that's a great story. Thanks, Jason. I appreciate it. Let's talk to Elizabeth in Franklin. Hey, Elizabeth.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yep, you're up.
I have a story. I was 16 years old. I was born in 1962, so you can do that math.
Okay.
And
Well, some people might. I can't do it in my head. I ain't that good. Anyway, go ahead.
We lived south of Dayton, West Carrollton, Minot Township area, and I was driving my sister somewhere back to home, and both of us just looked up. We were right on the corner of our street, and we looked up, and there's this huge black triangle with lights just shining down. It was just stopped. It wasn't moving. It took up several different, I can't even tell you how many, if it was a block long or 2 blocks long. We were so scared. I did a yard job in our yard. I was looking up, and the wheels just went up in the yard, but we were so scared.
Yeah. How'd you explain that? How'd you explain that to mom or dad?
Well, we went in and they didn't even ask. They didn't even seem surprised or anything.
Right.
And I did do some research and saw that these were like aircraft that was being researched at Wright Pat at the time, which would have been in the late 70s.
Right. That kind of makes sense, Elizabeth, and I appreciate your call. David, you and I were talking about that, our proximity to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. I'm sure many people over the years have had an experience where they're not sure what they saw, but man, oh man, who knows what they're testing over there, especially in the early days of drones. Right. Yeah. But all right, we got let's talk to Mike in Dayton. Hey, Mike.
Hey, Todd, how are you?
I'm well. What's up?
Hey, so I had 2 experiences. So the first one was in 1971, and it always stands out to me because my father worked for NASA.
Okay.
So we were on our way to Florida for the opening of Disney World. And in the Smoky Mountains, we saw some spotlights. And my father drove. We got off the highway there, and there was a saucer UFO hovering over a farm.
Wow.
And my father was arguing with the MP that he's from NASA, kept showing his NASA ID trying to get access.
With his family in the car.
Right. Kept saying, I work for NASA. You need to let me in.
Right.
And the second one was in Cincinnati in 1979. And that was 8 of us in a station wagon that saw it. And my friend made us go to the police department and make a police report.
Wow. Were there any other reports that that night made that you're aware of?
The police wouldn't tell us, but we called some of our high school friends and they saw it too. Interesting.
All right. Well, there you go. Kentucky, down there in the Smokies or wherever. That's, there's a lot of wilderness out there. So who knows what they were doing? Maybe they were zapping up a cow. I don't know. It happens, right? Don't they say that happens? Let's see. David in Lakeview. Hey, David.
Hey, Todd. I just switched on hold on a speaker or something. It's making the thing weird.
Oh.
Okay, there you go.
Maybe it's aliens.
I called this in before. It was 2 or 3 years ago when I called in and you were doing a UFO show.
Oh, okay.
And I was living in Austin at the time, and I was delivering pizzas, and I saw a black triangle, silent, slow, with at the very point, there was a bright, like a landing light at the very front point.
Right.
And on the bottom, there was a red rotating light, and it reminded me of a light on a fire engine, a red rotating light under a glass.
Sure.
Or under a dome glass. And I got out of my car. I stopped the car, pulled off the side of the road, stopped the car, and just looked up at it. And I kept asking myself, what is that? What is that? There's no way it could be flying. It was only like 35, 40 miles an hour. If it was an aircraft, it would have fallen out of the sky. But I have called that in before, and I heard other guys calling today talking about flying triangles, and this was back in '96.
Let me ask you this question, and I don't want you to think that I'm saying that you're wrong. Okay, so just understand this. I've heard this question asked many times, that if this is in fact some sort of alien craft that's from somewhere else, and they're coming here, why do they put lights on the ship?
Well,
I'm like, why would they put lights on the ship that would identify them? You would think that they would be like, we have to get in here as stealthily as possible. We don't want to attract any attention because we don't want farmers out there with shotguns shooting at us. Right.
Yeah, right.
Why? We don't want lights on it. So, the Air Force or Navy or whoever can come after us. We want to come in quietly, stealthily.
I'll have to say, after watching what I watched and thinking about it, that red rotating light on the bottom just seemed too human. So I don't think it was from somewhere else.
Right. And I would bet, David, that a lot of sightings that people have, it's something like that, right?
Yeah.
I'm not suggesting that there isn't something out there that people are seeing that isn't from this world, because in the last couple of years we've had that whole thing with the naval aviators and that little
the tic tac,
flying around, whatever, and they don't know what it is. Like, they have no idea. And these aren't just average Joes like you and me. These guys are fighter pilots who study this stuff. So, but I always thought that was interesting. Why are there lights on there? You think that they'd want to be stealthy, and
Well, a lot of reports nowadays have this thing where they can cloak, and like you can just see through it. You can see the stars behind the cloak.
Yeah.
That there's like a distortion. Those are.
It's like recent. The Klingons in Starship or in Star Trek, right?
Yeah.
They've got the cloaking. All right, David, I appreciate your call. There were some good ones there.
Absolutely.
Some good ones. So we just have a couple of minutes left. Let's hit it one more time. Okay. We've got the Fairborn UFO Conference. The first night, Friday, June 6th, there's a costume contest out at Little Art Theater in Yellow Springs, right? That starts at
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock. And there's like 4 age groups for kids all the way to adults. And then at 7, they're going to be showing E.T.
Yes.
Extraterrestrial. Now, is there a charge for the movie?
Yeah, for the movie, it's children from 12 and under is free.
Okay.
And adults are only $5.
Okay, well, that's fair.
Very
That's good.
reasonable.
Yeah, very reasonable. And then on Saturday, you've got the conference at the Fairborn Holiday Inn. You're going to have 7 different speakers. All these folks are, in the field of ufology. You're going to be able to mix and mingle with other folks that have a similar interest or maybe similar experiences, like some of the folks we've talked to tonight on the show. It's $15 for that, right?
Yes, and I just want to let you know that these speakers will also be available to sign books, so you'll actually get to meet them, not just see them on stage.
Oh, that's awesome. And you made a great point. A lot of these folks do talks throughout the country and usually charge a lot more for one of their seminars or one of their conferences. For $15, you get to see all these folks.
Absolutely.
Which is great. And then on Sunday, you've got Alien Disc Golf there at the Fairborn Community Park.
Yes.
Right? And that's $25 per person for that.
So
but
$50 a team.
Right. And it's doubles, but you get one of those, you'll each get one of those cool souvenir alien golf discs.
Yes.
That sounds cool. I mean, that sounds really neat.
Yes.
So if you want more details, you can find it on my Facebook page. There's a link there, or you can go to off of that. I posted earlier UFO 101. That's the group that David McWhorter, who's in the studio with me tonight, is from. You can go to that page. It's all out there.
Yes.
And once again, it's coming up June 6th, 7th, and 8th in Fairborn. And my hope is that this is going to turn into not just a conference in the future, but like a big festival where people are dressing up in aliens and as aliens and having parades and all kinds of fun.
Yes.
So this will be cool. All right. Well, David, thank you so much for being on. And we'll hear more about it between now and then for sure.
I appreciate it. Thank you for your time.
What is this? The Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
It's a radio show. It's entertainment.
Fill it up.
T. Oh.
Double D.
H.
Oh.
Double L.
S. T. I can remember that.
Locally grown, seriously funny.
I'm puzzled by the whole thing.
On WHIO.
Point in that direction.
Percent, or where are you?
Tonight I think I'm I only did one and I missed it, so I'm 0 for 1. But that's all right.
Yes.
That's all right. We got I got 28,000 likes on TikTok tonight.
Is that good? A good
That's
number?
pretty good. Yeah, it's good for me.
Yeah.
I've only been doing my show on TikTok for a couple of weeks now. And it's different on TikTok because on the live streams on Facebook and YouTube, people can hear all the music beds. They can hear the callers. They can hear all the sound effects, everything. It's like the full show. But TikTok doesn't let you do that. So all they get is me. It's just me talking to the phone right here, and that's all they get. So the people that are watching and stick with it, I give them a lot of credit because it's just me yammering, and I don't always pay as much attention to them as I do the folks on the live stream, because on the live stream, I can see their comments, right? They just type their comments and I've got a screen over here where I can see them all. I can see some of it on the TikTok, but it's also very small. and my eyes are not great. So,
and they're getting worse.
Well, yeah. I mean, I wear bifocals, and it's weird. This is so in the weeds, but sometimes on TikTok, after you've been on for a long period of time, if it doesn't detect if it doesn't detect that you are still live, or maybe I'm sitting here and I'm not doing anything, right? It asks if you're still on, and you have to, for lack of a better term, one of those captchas, those little weird things like to prove that you're real. It'll say like, which one of these items is used for photography? And then there's like 10 pictures, and some of them are cameras, some of them are a video camera, some of them are hats, some of them are cups. And you have to go through and you have to hit each one that is used for photography. Well, sometimes it's this sort of mosaic picture that I can't friggin' see. I can't tell what's a camera. I can't tell what this, and I'm sitting here, I'm doing this, and I'm trying to nope, you're wrong. Nope, you're wrong. And if you don't do it in 3 minutes, it shuts you down.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
has it happened to you?
Oh, it's happened.
Online?
It's happened 100%. And I'm sitting here talking, I'm doing the show, and I'm trying to talk about, this stupid Florida man story. And I'm trying to do that at the same time. It's like, oh, for the love of Pete, enough. So, but now it's just like, if it shuts me off, it shuts me off. My life isn't going to end because TikTok shuts off. But if it's, if I could get it to stay on, that's great. It'd be better if the camera was closer, and I've tried the camera over here on this side. I've tried the camera over here on this side, and it's a little more in reach, but I like the fact that my camera for the live stream is there, and TikTok is there. So I can just kind of look in this direction and hit both of them. Before I was like looking over here and then looking over here and then looking over here. And it's just like, I appreciate it, Paul. Yes, you are trying to keep the numbers up for me on TikTok. I really appreciate that. So. So let's do real quick here. Let's do the t-shirt thing.
Oh, great.
Yeah. We'll probably only have maybe a minute. So.
Okay. You'll let me know.
Oh, yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And like we talked about, as we get closer, maybe that week before, the last week of May, I'm on vacation.
Okay.
So that last week, or that first week of June going into that weekend, let's plan on something like maybe either Tuesday or Thursday. Wednesday, I'll have Wing It Wednesday, so I'll have somebody in here. But maybe, or even, you could even call in during the 5 o'clock hour or something.
Okay.
Earlier in the show. But we'll just hit it one more time as we go into the break.
appreciate that.
Oh, that's not a problem. Of course. All right, here we go.
Breathe easy. Choose McAfee. Call today or visit mcair.com. This is WHIO Dayton and WHIO FM Pleasant Hill. All news, all the time.
The threat of thunderstorms for the area starting tonight. We'll have that for you at 7 o'clock. Now back to the Evening Edge with Todd Hollst on 1290 and 95.7 WHIO.
And now for our devoted listeners, back to the show.
The Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Call Todd now, 937-457-1290, or message him at Evening Edge Todd.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
Well, there you go. That's the show. David McWhorter from UFO 101 and the Fairborn UFO Conference. Thanks for being on the show. Now, you got something for me. You brought me a gift.
Brought you a hat.
Oh, a UFO 101 hat. Very cool.
And I also was able to come up with a shirt for you.
Awesome.
So
thank you so much.
You're quite welcome.
All right. You can get more details on the Fairborn UFO Conference on my Facebook page. Just look for the logo. It's pinned at the top. Click on it, and you can get details and buy tickets. They're only $15. It's going to be a good time. David, thank you so much for being on the show, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Well, show's over, folks. Thanks for coming.
Good show, old man.
Bravo. That was wonderful.
Game over, man.
Peace out.
All right, folks. Thanks for watching tonight. I really appreciate it. Thanks for being great sports. And I'll talk to you tomorrow. And it's Friday. Amen. Hallelujah. Have a great night.